Got it.
All right, so here's the deal. Welcome to Bull in the Basement, and I'm joined by an old travel partner of mine who, if you feel free to tell the stories, I'm sure they'll come up.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that until just now. That's
Either
so
did
funny.
Either did I, which is the craziest thing. So choose to or not. I mean, people that need to know or have known know. But anyway, whatever.
I'm gonna.
So everybody that usually watches this dumb podcast have some sort of Buffalo connection. They either live there or whatever.
Sure.
But they still may not know who you are. So Josh
Right.
Potter's on, and Josh used to be part of the Shred and Reagan show, did some stand-up in Buffalo, is from one of the Kenmore high schools, I forget which.
Williamsville South, actually, not Kenmore.
That too.
Kenmore.
You made the rounds. You sound like you're so proud of Will South all of a sudden.
I don't care, but it is the one school I graduated from.
That boy.
I didn't graduate from Canisius. I dropped out.
Well, you had better things to do, clearly.
I was working. I mean,
right.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I watched it. This is true. And if it weren't for you dropping out of college and working, you wouldn't be where you are now.
No, you're right.
Right. So anyway, so Potter labored. He was a laborer in training, and learned a trade, I guess, sort of.
I guess. I mean, I think about that. I'm like, I learned how to cut up commercials. I mean, pretty quickly. That was like my trade. I guess it was like going to a trade school almost,
Yeah. And then you would like run in and drop some really funny lines on Shred and Reagan because they're not really comedians per se. They can rip off.
They're hilarious
here and there.
They're funny. Yeah, they're funny as hell.
But you were there for that and to help them with all kinds of stuff. And then you were doing stand up as well in Buffalo. And you got some handful of gigs like around Western New York and maybe some college shows and stuff like that. And then you sort of had a light bulb moment, right? Like where you're like, all right, here's an opportunity that's in front of me. I got to take this because this is going nowhere. So for people that don't know the story, how you left Buffalo, ended up in LA, or now just blowing up, please share.
Well, I was working in radio, and I just didn't see any upward momentum happening,
Yeah, because jerks like me were there for 100 years.
These dinosaurs. No, I'm just but no, I mean, there really was there was just nowhere to go. And it was like, I had an opportunity presented to be on tour for a whole year. And it was enough money to like move and get my feet planted and everything like that. So it was like an opportunity that I couldn't say no to. So I took it and I went on the road with Tom Segura for a year. And then I was in LA and I had to get a job, which was weird, but I did it and did that for 6 months. And then I started podcasting and here we are.
So what was your job for people that don't know?
My job in LA? I couldn't even tell you, dude. Like, I don't even know what I was doing. Like, I was so unqualified for this job. Like, I worked in an office and I like would argue between bills for like medical bills for like a clinic as opposed to like on behalf of a clinic against insurance companies. Like I don't even know what I was doing. And I would have meetings where they would tell me how poor I was at this job all the time. And they kept me so that I couldn't, like I made it through the 90-day probation or whatever, and they couldn't fire me though. So I was like stuck there. And then I quit before they could fire me. So, but I had no idea what I was doing. It was very strange, to say the least, to have like a real office job for once in my life.
Well, it's funny because I might be on my way there and I'm scared shitless.
Dude, it's the most liberating thing to realize that you can function outside of that stupid world. It's like, oh, I'm a human being. I can still like get a normal job. Like it's such a weird, like you don't think you can because you've been out of it for so long, but then you do it and you're like, oh, that wasn't so hard. I mean, I got a job I had no business doing.
Right.
That's
what's going to happen to me for sure.
You just do the interview. I mean, it's like you can do it. You know what I mean? Then you get through and you're good. I mean, shit, dude. Hold on. Sorry. Is my phone acting weird?
You're good.
My phone, I like dropped my phone and it's acting so, and my laptop's broken. So I'm in a mess right now. But yeah, no, I mean, it's that's part of the thing that I thought was really cool about getting a job was like going to an office and then like, I'm like, oh, nobody here like knows who I am. I'm just here working like everybody else. It was kind of like this weird freeing experience, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's something I've been thinking about too in my search. So you seem very, and I watch your podcast all the time. I follow you obviously on the gram and all that. You seem really comfortable. Like you seem like you're in a really, really good place.
Yeah, I mean, shit, doing radio for 15 years makes podcasting super easy. I mean, you're doing it now too. It's like the same thing. It's so funny because like I always dreamed when I was starting in morning radio that I would be like a part of a nationally syndicated show. And now it's like I'm doing that, but it's like on a different planet than what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? Like it's in a completely different realm. Sorry, I live in LA. There's helicopters constantly flying by because
there's a car chase.
I don't know.
Clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just all the time, just constantly. It's like Vietnam here. But yeah, dude, it's like a thing that I was able to step into and wasn't so out of the realm of radio. It's like people are like, oh, where do you get the idea how to do your show? I'm like, I'm just doing a radio show. It's just like I'm just doing that on, you know, the internet now or whatever. So it's yeah, it's like I guess people are like, oh, you're comfortable, but it's like I don't know. I would have been doing this as opposed to planning a 4-hour show every day. It's like I'm planning 1 hour a week. You know, it's like a cakewalk comparatively.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder how we did it every day. You know,
no kidding.
It's crazy.
You proudly still support all your Buffalo teams, which is awesome.
Yeah, of course.
And now, obviously, you're today celebrating the Buffalo Blue Jays, which is great. They're our team.
Oh, I love the Blue Jays. I love I really don't have a favorite baseball team, to be quite honest, but I will take allegiance with the Blue Jays since they did come to Buffalo for so long. I wish I got to come home and see them. Didn't have the chance, obviously. I haven't been home to Buffalo in 2 years. I'm coming home on Friday for the first time in 2 years. So crazy.
Yeah, right. Are you? I'm sure you're really excited about it, but like
I'm like overwhelmed at the idea of it. To be honest with you, I haven't seen my family. I haven't seen anybody. So like, I haven't been to like good bar. I mean, like, it's gonna be weird in all the best ways.
It's gonna be weird because there's gonna be stuff that you've never seen here too, right? Since you've been gone.
That's true, dude. Like, I don't even know what's been added to the fucking city.
Right.
You know, I don't even know. Like, there's new restaurants. There's new things. So I'm excited to see that kind of stuff too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I'm giving myself enough time to come home and fuck around a little bit, you know?
Yeah, good. I was going to say, and you, I don't know if you will, but you may feel a little bit melancholy when you go back. But I doubt it. I think you'll be just fine.
No, I'll definitely get to, because I mean, I came home 2 years ago around this time, Thanksgiving, and 10 days is enough, I've learned. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If that's still the case. I can't light this fucking cigarette.
How many shows are you doing Helium when you come back?
5.
5?
Yeah. There's Friday, 2 Saturday, and 1 Sunday.
Okay.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Cool. What's your set looking like these days, and how often are you writing?
I mean, it's been rough after quarantine. There's not much to draw from in terms of reality, but it's getting back into shape. It's been a tough go, but I've been on the road like hard for the last 2 months and 3 months. So it's getting back into shape, but it was a rough go after they're like, you know, getting back into, I was trying to do the road as much as possible during quarantine, but it was like impossible. So, you know, going from doing comedy every day almost to doing it like once every 3 months was not productive at all. So
I'm sure
it was rough, but it's going to be fun. The sets are going to be fun. It's just going to be a party. So
yeah, 100%.
Come hang out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Are there plans to go on Shred and Reagan when you come back, or don't we know
I think
yet?
so. I mean, we talked about it, but I haven't like firmed up anything. I don't even know if they're on they have like 9 weeks of vacation, I'm sure. I can't believe they don't have Fridays off by this point. I told them, I'm like, when does the Fridays off contract come in? This is it. You just had it. That was your Fridays off contract.
Right.
And you blew it.
It's very
should
funny.
have Fridays off right now.
That's right. So I want to go back to baseball really quick because you do a thing too, and I'm just showing my age, and I'm embarrassed to even have this conversation. But can you tell me about, because a buddy of mine who's doing this golf thing, he's like, you got to get on TikTok, and I am, and I don't do much there, but Snapchat, I'm on all the social medias for the most part, but I don't do a lot of them. I'm just on them. And I even signed up for Twitch, and I still don't get Twitch. Like, I just don't get it. Is that basically people? Because I know you invite people, hey, I'm going to be on Twitch on Monday night playing, whatever. Is it basically people just watching you play like baseball, for instance, on video?
Well, when it comes, people watch me play football, and then when I play baseball, I play against people in the chat. So it's like they can watch, they can play with me if they want. But yeah, for football, I just play like a franchise, the Bills, and then I just like make moves and stuff, and people can like help me make moves. So it's like they watch it. Yeah, and during quarantine, it was a big deal. It's become less of a big deal since we've, the world has opened up again a bit. But it is basically that people watch you. But like I said, during quarantine, it was a place for me to be able to like open mic almost, because I wasn't going on stage. So it was like I'm just on this broadcast, streaming, talking, just staying kind of like in shape, I guess, for that kind of thing. And then, I wasn't doing my podcast until like October of 2020. So then once that started and once the road came back, it's kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. Like I haven't streamed in a while, but I mean, there was a while there where it was like paying my rent. It was like, through subscriptions or whatever. So it really was like beneficial to me. And thanks to the guys that I worked with at the time, they showed me how to do all that stuff. So I had no idea about it either. They were like, you should get on Twitch, like just kind of on a whim. And then I did it. And my setup was so basic and rudimentary, but people still liked watching it. So I didn't care about all that.
It's really impressive. And I just don't think I have the attention ability to be able to do, because it sounds like you're actually, again, I haven't watched it, but I know about it. Like, are you actually literally like running a play and chatting with people at the same time as you're running?
Oh yeah.
Because like that's a multitask I don't think I'd be capable of, honest to God.
It's not as hard as you think. I mean, there's games where people will like, you should play FIFA or you should play this or that. And I'm like, I can't watch the chat and play. Like, at least football, you can like, between plays, you can read. And I don't play defense. I let the defense play like it's like on television. So I can like sit there and read the chat during the defensive plays. And I make up this thing. I'm like, hey, I'm the owner, I'm the GM, I'm the offensive coordinator. I can't be the defensive coordinator too. I got to like have someone do something else. So that's the way I just like play it up on the thing. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's interactive, and people they find a way to like they make connections. Like I go do road gigs now. People come to me, they're like, I'm so and so on Twitch. And I'm like, no way, that's so cool. And they're coming out to shows and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. So now you're doing all this stuff, and I got to ask you about your podcasts, because the ones I'm seeing, so straighten me out. So I see the ones where you have like the script beneath you and you're basically reading weird stories and then commenting on them. You're good. So I see that, but in the past I was seeing you, it seemed like you were maybe in a different studio where you had like these two guys in a tiny little box.
Yeah, no, my show started on the Your Mom's House channel on YouTube. And when they decided they were going to move, they came to me and were like, hey, you can make more money doing this on your own, and it doesn't cost us any money. So basically I just had to start my own thing about 3 months in or whatever. So basically, I mean, I kept it going. Nothing changed other than the studio and the personnel, I guess, on the show, since I didn't have access to like their resources any longer. But yeah, that's why, that was the reason for the change or whatever. And so yeah, now I'm doing it like, it's basically all of a sudden I'm like a business owner all of a sudden. And now it's like having my own like private little radio station. Like I have my own studio that I rent, but I mean, like, it's my space. And
yeah,
I have a saleswoman, so I don't have to deal with like 9 idiots that do sales and don't know how to sell anything. And then so I have like one person who knows the show and she sells it, and that's all I need. It's like it's like cottage industry radio. It's like all the dumb parts about radio, like that you get bogged down with because of sales and stuff, like you can get past now because it's just like a direct line, you know?
So I brought that up only because the one guy of the two, and I don't know which one it was, man, he was like a laugh track that I need desperately.
Oh, Nadav. No, yeah, I know. I miss him. God. I mean, like, it's like it's like performing in front of 12 people when you have him in the room. It's the best. I mean, I miss him dearly, but you know, he's the main Your Mom's House executive producer. He runs all the shows on the network, and you know, so like obviously when I lost him, it made me like I have to be confident in what I say, you know, and hope that the people are still laughing as well. You know what I mean? So, but he did make it so much easier. I mean, by God,
I seriously want to just hire that guy, literally just record his laugh and just play it like every time I say
like
anything.
A drop. Yeah, no,
yeah, because I'm not funny at all.
Some people think it's like a drop. They're like, is that? It's like no, he's there. And he's like in a soundproof room, and you can still hear it. Like
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, his laugh is like abrasive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What do you like? What do you hate about LA?
I love LA, really, to be quite honest. I hate the fact that like getting around is a nightmare. Like I don't drive anymore. I stopped driving when I moved here, which people think is counterintuitive, but really at the end of the day, it's like a weight's lifted off my shoulders. Like I couldn't even imagine owning a car here and having to worrying about parking and everything like that.
Well, $6 gas, dude.
Yeah, that too. It's all a nightmare. So but like, you know, still like to go to my studio, I live in Silver Lake area and it's in Santa Monica, and it's not far in terms of like geographically, but it takes still like an hour to get there because of traffic and things like that. So I hate that part, but I love going outside of it. Like the winter feels like fall. You know, the weather's amazing. It's like there's beautiful women everywhere. It's awesome here. I don't get the hate necessarily. I'm not like involved in show business, so it's like I don't see the fake people or whatever everyone talks about. But you know, my little sliver of show business, I don't have to deal with any of those people, thank God. So I have no problems with it, like in terms of that. And I really do enjoy living here quite a bit. I'm trying to raise my level of which I'm doing so now. So financially, it's starting to come to that. So I'm excited. I can get a better place and everything. So I'm pumped.
So you could actually get like a living room set.
Right. That's the next step, is like having furniture and stuff is my goal.
I have seen, you do famously show your apartment on occasion.
Well, I did in that quarantine times, because I hit this depression, like that you went, like my life was in 2020, the beginning of it, my life was going as good as like dreams were coming true. It was like the most wild, like, and I can't even express to you like how I'm like, I can't believe all this is happening. Like literally a week before shutdown, I was at like dinner with Joe Rogan and Tulsi Gabbard and like two other, like in Vegas, like, and then a week later, it's like the world shut down and your life's over. So I was like, I went into this fucking hole, and like, I just stopped caring. I didn't clean anything. I just like was drinking beer and throwing beer cans on the ground. Like I just didn't care. I thought my life was over. I was going to like hang myself or something. I was like, this is it. And I was like, I'm not going to make it to the other side of this thing. And then I started like telling people that, and they were like, let's get you some help. What do you say? So I showed that. It's kind of a regret, honestly, because people think I live my life like that all the time now. They're like, oh, your apartment's a mess or whatever. It's like, no, that was a very specific, terrible moment in my life.
I don't mean to be laughing, but it's
no, sure. It's funny. I mean,
tragedy, comedy, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I put it out there, so it's like whatever. Yeah. But yeah, no, I go like, I kind of wish I kind of didn't do that, but I wish I got the help without needing to like make content out of it to be.
I think we probably all do that one way or another. So I bragged so much when virally, I don't remember the exact phrase or sentence or whatever he said, but Joe Rogan like gushed about you. And I was like,
yeah, he talked about, well, that's the other thing, like that put me into a spiral, was like, he's on his podcast talking about, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But I had no shows that existed. Like I had a tour, like ready to rock. If nothing would have happened in terms of coronavirus, I probably would have sold out all my gigs at that point.
Yeah.
But I had nothing for sale or anything like that. And I won't, when he did that, I didn't have a gig for like another year plus. So it's like, it kind of was like not falling on deaf ears. It's still wonderful that he's talked about me in any way, but like, it just kind of was like, fuck, man, if only this happened in a normal time, I would have sold all these tickets and everything like that. It's like, so you just see the numbers, the money, and you go like, oh my God, how am I going to do that ever again? But thankfully I made it to the other side and it's like coming back and everything's cool. So I'm chill with it. But like, yeah, it sucked to say like, it was like, motherfuck, really talking about me now during the fucking pandemic? Couldn't do this like 3 months ago.
Well, all that being said, I'm a little surprised you don't roll out that clip like once every, I don't know, 10 days or something.
I mean, what am I going to fucking stroke my dick to Joe Rogan talking about me? I mean, like, I don't know.
What is that the best compliment you've ever gotten from anybody that people would know?
I mean, probably. It's like the most famous person who's probably like talked about my comedy or whatever. I mean, Tom is pretty famous. So, I mean, he's given me higher praise, I would say, but, and like, financially, rewarded me in ways that I could never even have imagined in my life. So, I kind of put that one higher, I guess, but, yeah, no, that one's pretty big for sure. 100%.
So how, in terms of like, do you have an agent or are you doing everything on your own?
I have an agent. I'm kind of small peanuts for him. So I'm doing it on my own still a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm showing him like, hey, here's some money. So, but it's part of the process.
I mean, like, do you literally hand it? Is it a paper bag? Like literally like that? Exchange?
No, it's a wire transfer.
Oh, okay.
it's a reputable company.
Western Union.
Yeah.
So what's your tour looking like coming after the holidays? I mean, is that the plan to have like an extensive?
Yeah, I'm starting to build up some dates. I got like 3 or 4 on the books. They're always coming in. It's been fun. I'm going on the road with Annie Letterman all the time. She's the best. She's like my best friend. So it's been fun just like cruising around with her places, jumping on her shows because it's helping me get strong again too. So like going in front of her crowds. But yeah, no, I'm trying to add to it all the time. I haven't announced anything yet, but it's like probably like Pittsburgh, Raleigh, New York, stuff like that. Like those are the ones that I've got contracts for, I think. So yeah, I'm just trying to stack it up. It's never ending. It's like people are like, oh, are you going to put a tour together? Whatever. It's like, I'm just on the road as often as I can.
Yeah.
So, and now podcasting makes it like, I have to come home to podcast. So like, there's been like times during the last 2 months where I'm just in LA for like 48 hours just to like come and do a podcast. But
yeah. So that being said, I mean, are you just kind of like in this sort of like comedy place and that's kind of where you want to be and are going to be? Do you have an end game? Are you going to has anybody seen you and said, hey, you got to be in this TV show? I mean, is any TV, movies, anything? No. Is that even a thing?
None of that's even a thing for me. I mean, if it happens, it happens. Cool. I'm cool with that. I mean, like, I'm down to try whatever. Like, I'm not aiming for any of that though. Like,
yeah,
the end game is just keeping this going as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
It's rewarding,
and not
career-wise
getting a Netflix
and financially.
special on purpose.
Oh no, I mean, I'll do that. I mean, that's a different kind of story, but like, I mean, like in terms of just show business stuff, like as long as I can keep my podcast where it's at and like grow it and then do the road as often as I am now. I mean, like, right. It's like, I never expected to make this much money doing this shit in my life. And so I am, and it's like, now I just want to maintain, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just like flabbergasting to me actually. Because I mean, I was over there and fucking, I thought like loyalty was a thing, like to a company, and they don't reward loyalty in any way or shape or form. So now I'm finding these things out and finding my way on my own. So
it is so, I was gonna say, it is so great working for yourself, is it not?
Oh, it's literally the best thing ever. I mean, it's also
great.
It brings up headaches that I've never, like, I'm a boss now. I have a business. It's weird. And so, I mean, it's great, but it's still like something I'm getting used to, in terms of like, delegating things and like, you know, being like on top of things, you know, business wise and stuff like that. So that part's been an adjustment, but it's a fun one. You know, I can't complain about that.
So you're telling me you got to like keep an eye on your books?
Not even that. It's like, it's that a little bit. You have to, I mean, I have an employee, like a person I pay to like run my show. You know what I mean? So it's like, I have to pay them and I have to like
match
make sure
their
enough money's coming in.
And
well, like, let's not get crazy, but you know, someday I hope down the road, who knows? But yeah, it's just been something that I didn't expect to have to do as a part of this. And now it's like, oh yeah, Josh, that's the whole thing. You know, you're in the business of yourself. So
yeah.
And I kind of wish I took that mentality earlier in my life, but you know, such as
your child. Trust me, you got lots of time in front of you. So let me get your take on the Bills first. Thoughts?
Oh, how can you hate on anything that's going on there? I mean, I guess I could nitpick, but I really am just like in a rosy glow when it comes to the Bills lately. You know, I mean, how many years did we spend when they were? I look back on like when, you know, we go to the locker room and stuff, how terrible they were, and like how fun would it have been to like have this occur during the time frame of like 2006 to 2010, like when it was like when we had the rights to them and everything. And
yeah,
that would have been so much fun. But you know,
like beast mode is here this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I'm going to the game this weekend too.
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
I'm pumped. Yeah, I hope I like run into him. I bet he's like a dream guest on my show. Like it's a running joke to get him on. But I'd love that. But yeah, no, I mean, I can't say anything. The Sabres, I've done a 180 on. I was like going into the season so mad and angry about them, and then they got rid of all the poison, and now I'm like, I love this team. I love what the collection of guys they got. I love Granato. I'm watching all the games because like they're on at 4:00 here and like Generet's last season. So I'm like paying close attention, and I just love this like group, you know, these little babies that we got.
Yeah. What's the, is there any Bills buzz out there, by the way?
Oh, people see me in Bill stuff in like the last couple of years. They're like, oh, I love the team. You know, like it's because they're nationally, like we're on more primetime games now. We're, you know, one of the top teams in the NFL. So people see the Bills stuff and they're like rooting for us. You know what I mean? Because we've not been there for so long. So now everybody's been like, I'll walk to like the weed store and people are like, go Bills or whatever. Like just regular people. They're like Josh Allen, you know, like out here. I mean, people are fans of all different teams out here mostly because they're from everywhere else. So,
yep. Yeah, the Sabres are cool because the Sabres basically, the Sabres are a junior version of a junior version of the team that went. Like all I need is Hasek, right? If they had Hasek,
right,
then
the hardest working team on ice, like before, yeah. No, that's what I missed. That I mean, when we had Eichel and Reinhardt and Ristolainen and those guys, they were like just sour pusses. You know what I mean? I'm like, get these like negative Nellies off the team. Like it's just they're just poisoned. I mean, they've never had a good time here, and they're not going to. So let's get rid of them and move along and have only players that, you know, want to be here. Like, you know, like Kevin Adams said, I think it's cool that we got Tuck.
Yeah.
You know, he's from Syracuse and he's closer to home now. So I wish he wouldn't wear McGillney's number, but whatever.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like this collection. I'm like all about this. I have like bets with my friend Chris. We bet the money line every time and I'm up money. So they're doing me good.
Now all you got to do is get some Donnie Meatballs royal blue glasses, and then
I used to have those. I have them somewhere in like a drawer. I think I used to have like royal blue glasses that I'd wear, but I don't even. They're probably like 3 prescriptions old at this point, so who knows? But
right on.
They're somewhere. I should get some though.
Your beard is at an epic level, by the way.
It's grayer than ever after quarantine. I was going straight I might go back to mustache because the Sabres actually they're all doing mustaches.
That would I could do it, but
I used to have the mustache. 2018 I was mustache only.
Yeah. And you do a good mustache, dude.
Sure. It's the non-grayest part too now, so it's like
right.
Get rid of all this horse shit.
But that thing, if you took it off and put Velcro on the back of it or something sticky, man, you could put that on anybody's face and it would look amazing.
True.
I mean,
that's true.
You basically
it's
have
full.
your own built-in Halloween costume.
Yeah, it's true.
I know this has not really been funny. I'm sorry.
Why does it have to be funny?
I mean, that's what you're accustomed to doing, and I'm not. This is just kind of what I do. But I'm so proud of you, man. I love you to death. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am for you, because you took a wild and crazy risk, and it has completely paid off, and you're doing amazing.
Looking back, honestly, I'm starting to wonder if it was even a risk or if staying would have been the risk, because
right, that's a good point.
I don't think I would have had a job come COVID.
Right.
I would have been gone. I don't know what would have happened to me if I would have stayed. I don't think I would have. I think I would have been in the dust right now. I don't even know.
Yeah.
What would have been. So I think the risk would have been staying, to be quite honest, looking back.
Well, regardless, a great decision, and I'm glad you're loving LA, and you're doing great. Before we go, for everybody that's watching this, list out all your things, man.
Oh, sure. I'm on Instagram at Josh_Potter. I'm on Twitter at J_Potter. The Josh Potter Show comes out every Tuesday on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and that's about it, man. Check out the shows if you're in. Twitch.tv/Josh_Potter. Yeah, you can subscribe. I'll be back on Twitch again coming in December. Once I'm home from Buffalo, I'll be on there a bunch more, but it's taken a bit of a break in November because of the road and such. So, but yeah, no, it's gonna come back, and I'm around, baby. I'm on the interwebs.
Very nice, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you, and I'm really proud that you're doing so well.
Yeah, man. Yourself. Congrats on doing your own thing too. I mean, get it going.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere, but whatever. It will. It's
got to start somewhere.
That's
right. It takes time.
Yeah, right on, man. Very good. I hope to see you this weekend or over the next week, man. Safe flight back. All right.
Yeah, you too, dude. I'll see you soon.
Thanks for doing this. Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. Thanks.
Talk to you later.